Welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris, and whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, or listening on Podbean, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some NFL coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the episode, and leave a comment down below. Spotify, if you're listening on there, share around with others and follow on there as well. Podbean, same thing. If you're listening on there, share around with others and follow on there also. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Twitter, it's at pigskin_frenzy, all lowercase. All you got to do is type that bad boy in on the search engine. You'll find it. Follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as news and highlights from across college and NFL football. Facebook, all you got to do is type in Pigskin Frenzy. Follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as all things up to date with Pigskin Frenzy. Instagram, same thing. All you got to do is type in at Pigskin Frenzy. Follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as trivia questions on stories, episode updates, as well as all things up to date with Pigskin Frenzy. NFL Day today. Training camp is upon us, and we're a couple of weeks out from the NFL regular season. And not only actually a couple of weeks out, we're actually next week is preseason. Next Thursday is the Hall of Fame game for the NFL. The kickoff of preseason, the, I guess unofficial start of the season, not, the regular season. That's the real start of the season. That kicks off Thursday, September 7th with Kansas City and Detroit playing at Arrowhead. Detroit traveling to Arrowhead for the first time in 20 years. But nonetheless, we're back. Football's, about to be kicked into high gear. We're about to enter, we're here in the last week of July, and August is next week, ladies and gentlemen. So just buckle up. College is going to be at the end of the month. NFL kicks off next week with their unofficial preseason. It's going to be fun. Football is back, and we have it all right here for you. Pigskin Frenzy. We have, the holdouts of what's going on at training camp. We also have the extensions going in to start of training camp and the start of preseason. So we're going to get to all that here right now. We're going to go over who's holding out. We're going to go over who signed extensions. I have it all. You probably already seen it. I posted it on Twitter. So just, before you click, I'm not going to listen to this guy anymore. Do not do that, please. Subscribe to YouTube. Follow and share around with others on Podbean and Spotify, and follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for all things Pigskin Frenzy. Okay, here we go. Let's kick it off with some of the extensions, right? I'm going to get to the holdouts. I'm going to get to the extensions, and I'm also going to provide you a little bit of an update on, what's happening with the running back market. Tune in from, if you want to go back to last Thursday's NFL edition of Pigskin Frenzy, go listen to that. I went on a rant. Obviously, you're thinking, this guy is, out of his mind, right? This guy's, going ballistic over here over the running back market. I did a little bit, not trying to be an angry, bitter person. I'm just trying to explain my frustrations with the running back market. But I'm also going to go over something that did not make sense that involves the running back market. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. You probably saw it on Twitter, on my social media, so I'm going to get to that in a minute. Let's just kick it off with the big news for the extensions, and that is out in Los Angeles. So, courtesy of NFL insider Ian Rappert, the Chargers and quarterback Justin Herbert have been discussing, what's their next steps. Let's restructure my contract. Let's get a better deal going so I can continue to be a Charger for the future. It's been kind of a battle a little bit, and I'm going to explain that battle in a minute. But the deal's done. The extension is done. And let me go on and tell you something. It's a big one, all right? It's a big one. For those who have, who not seen it on Twitter, I posted it on there, but I'm going to, say it. Courtesy of NFL insider Ian Rappert and, ESPN's Adam Schefter. These are my sources for, a lot of, a lot. So courtesy of NFL insider Ian Rappert, the Chargers and quarterback Justin Herbert have agreed to a 5-year, $262 million extension, with $218 million of that money being guaranteed. Let me just repeat what I just said. 5 years, $262 million, with $218 million of that money guaranteed. Wow. Wow is all I got to say. That is a lot of money, folks. He has eclipsed the Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts deal. So, what does that mean? It means he's the highest paid quarterback in the league, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Herbert, quarterback, Chargers, out of Oregon, by the way, in the 2020 NFL draft. He was drafted, I think he was drafted 6th in overall in the 2020 draft. He was a top 10 pick. Solid quarterback. It was between him, Tua Tagovailoa, and Joe Burrow in the first round of the NFL draft. Joe Burrow got that spot. I'm going to get to him in a minute. But Justin Herbert gets this record-breaking deal, and let me give you some details on this. So, he is the second highest paid quarterback in total value behind Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. That's big. That's big. Sorry, I was clearing my throat there, my guys. Sorry, guys. That's big. Total value, because when it comes to total value throughout the years, Patrick Mahomes gets richer and richer and richer. Justin Herbert is behind him in that, so he's only going to get richer, richer, and richer. Justin Herbert is also now the highest paid quarterback in the league annually, like yearly, like he's going to get paid $52.5 million annually, and that's only a little bit ahead of Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson after he got a record-breaking deal at the night of the first round of the NFL draft back in April. So, here, and let me just give you one more detail before I get into the battle, quote-unquote. But in 2025, in 2 years, Herbert will make, sorry, let me just clear my throat for this one, $100 million alone in one season. $100 million. I wish that I was that rich. Let me go on and tell you something. If I had that money, I wouldn't know what to do with it myself, but he's going to make $100 million alone in one season. That's impressive. Record-breaking deal. It's done. Now, here's the battle. The battle's not between Justin Herbert and the Chargers. The battle is between the two quarterbacks from the 2020 draft in the first round, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. So, and here's what I've been hearing a lot. These two were stalling out. They were competing against each other on who was going to get the better contract. And Justin Herbert ended up getting a deal first. Now, it's looking like now we're all just waiting and our eyes are peeled on the phones and our screens looking to see, okay, what's Joe Burrow going to get now? Because Joe Burrow is going to get something special. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. And let me go on and tell you something. Justin Herbert is a phenomenal quarterback. He is a star quarterback, and he is up there. He is a quarterback that I would take. And if you put him on a Chiefs roster, if you put him on a Ravens roster, whoever, even the Chargers roster, but if you put him on a roster that has a solid defense as well, we're hoisting that Lombardi trophy, man. Justin Herbert has the potential to be a championship quarterback and an MVP of this league. Justin Herbert has brought the Chargers to the playoffs, and he's brought them to the playoffs. Ended up losing in a wild comeback win from the Jaguars last season. Tough one there, but he brought them to the playoffs. He's broken some Chargers records that were previously held by Phillip Rivers, and he's got a surrounding cast with him. He's got Austin Eckler in the backfield. He's got Quentin Johnson now from TCU, rookie wide receiver. He's got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. He's got some weapons. Man. Justin Herbert is going to be a force to be reckoned with on that Chargers offense. Now, coaching is the only concern I have right now. We got to see if coaching is kind of up to, par, because there's I question some of the decision makings that were happening last season in games, but nonetheless, the Chargers are loaded on offense, and they're led by their $262 million quarterback in Justin Herbert. And let me go on and tell you something. I can only imagine if that is what he has done so far, what's Joe Burrow going to make? Because Joe Burrow has won the North back-to-back twice in his second and third seasons. He's entering his fourth season now. He's made it back-to-back to the AFC Championship game. He's won one, lost the second one. However, he also made it to a Super Bowl. He was a Super Bowl runner-up. He's done all that within 3 seasons. What is Joe Burrow going to get? And I am very curious. I honestly think Joe Burrow could eclipse this, and Joe Burrow could become the highest paid quarterback in the league because of what he's done with the Bengals alone. So, going to be very interesting to see what he gets, and we're all waiting to see on that one. But congratulations to Justin Herbert. He is deserving. He is a solid quarterback. He's a phenomenal player, and he's a tough leader for that Los Angeles Chargers offense and organization. So he's earned it. He deserves it. Congratulations on Justin Herbert for becoming essentially the highest paid quarterback in the league so far. Moving on to this, another extension being handed out. The New York Giants have given offensive lineman Andrew Thomas a record-setting extension, a 5-year, $117 million. You heard me right, $117 million deal with $67 million guaranteed, and this is according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. So, Andrew Thomas, after he was picked 4th in the 2020 NFL Draft, had somewhat of a break season. His rookie year was kind of so hearsay, if that makes sense. And if you see me on there, I'm kind of doing the face of not so spectacular. If that's the correct word to use, not so spectacular. However, he even admitted it. He even said that, hey, it was kind of embarrassing. But now, this past season, and is going in his 3rd season. He's going in his 4th, but his past season, 2022 season, was his 3rd. He had, quite honestly, a breakout year. He was one of the key protectors for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley last season on that offense. He was a big reason why that offense was so good, and give him props. He's earned his deal. So Andrew Thomas, 5-year extension, $117 million deal with $67 million of that guaranteed. Congratulations to Andrew Thomas. He is now up there with one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the league, I would assume. He's a solid lineman. I would want an Andrew Thomas. Honestly, he's only going to get better. And as he continues to play and continues to block, he's probably going to be one of those offensive linemen that are sought after in years to come. So congratulations to him, and good on him for getting an extension. Continuing the theme of the extensions, offensive lineman Titus Howard and the Houston Texans have agreed to a 3-year, $56 million deal with $36.5 million guaranteed, according to ESPN. So, Titus Howard, along with Laramie Tunsil, excellent pass protector, excellent rush blocker. He is a very underrated offensive lineman. Laramie Tunsil gets a lot of that credit for that Texans line, but Titus Howard needs to get some of that credit. And I'm going to sit here and say it now. He has done a lot for that organization, and he has done a lot for the offense and the cards that he has been dealt with. Now he's got a quarterback to that he can protect now in C.J. Stroud. So his job now is to protect C.J. Stroud and try to, help him out so he can make the accurate decisions and accurate throws, for this team, right? So Titus Howard gets a good deal, and he's a very underrated lineman, and watch out for him. And I think he's only going to get better as well. He was also a 2020 draft pick also. So continuing on. I mean, I'm just, moving on with these. But Cowboys and defensive back Trayvon Diggs, the interception magician, ladies and gentlemen. He is a machine when it comes to, getting interceptions. Along with Sauce Gardner, I would assume, Sauce Gardner and Jalen Ramsey, Trayvon Diggs is an elite defensive back. That's just me. He's an elite defensive back. So he's earned this. Extension time. Cowboys and cornerback Trayvon Diggs have agreed to a 5-year, $97 million extension, and couldn't be proud of that. I'm sure he wanted to stay with the Cowboys. He's liked where he's at, and he's got a good deal in place. And, we can't wait to see what he does this season. Last season, he had a solid season. A couple of years ago, he had a solid season as well. Trayvon Diggs, solid player, one of the best defensive backs in the league, like I said, along with a Sauce Gardner and a Jalen Ramsey, and even a Derwin James from the Los Angeles Chargers. So Trayvon Diggs has earned this deal. He makes that secondary for Dallas Cowboys, whole. He really does. So I like this extension. I like this deal. And congratulations to Trayvon Diggs as he reports to training camp with a new extension. Other news, another defensive back, Marcus Peters, former Baltimore Raven. And let me go on and tell you something about Marcus Peters. I have been waiting for him to get signed because I think Marcus Peters is a solid defensive back. He finally did get signed. He worked out with the Las Vegas Raiders. They liked what they saw, and they got the deal done. The Las Vegas Raiders have signed cornerback Marcus Peters to a 1-year deal. And honestly, I like this. I think he's going to fill that secondary up quite nicely. He's going to help, a lot on defense, and he's a key contributor in the backfield of the defense. So I think, let me go on and tell you something. In my opinion, he has a blanket coverage like no other. Do not sleep on Marcus Peters, and you got to watch out for him when you're throwing the ball. That's how I look at Marcus Peters. I think he's still one of the best, and I think he deserves, a home, right? And I think Las Vegas would be a good home. Now, could he get a better deal if he plays, lights out this season? Sure, he probably could get a better deal, but I think a 1-year deal so far is suffice. So Marcus Peters signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. I know I'm going quick here. I'm just jumping from a lot, but we got some more things to talk about, to discuss. So here is what I am going to just, have a talk about before we get to the holdouts and the stuff that concerns me about the holdouts. Let's go with what I found interesting the other day. So, because this is a little update from the, moving on to the state of the running back update that I said I was going to give you. They had a Zoom meeting. So running backs had a Zoom meeting the other night, Saturday, right? It was organized by Chargers running back Austin Eckler, talking about the declining running back market. And it was joined in by Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, a lot of these guys, right? And they had a Zoom meeting. They talked about it was a positive meeting. They had a, discussion about what's happening in the running back market. And then a couple of days later, what kind of shocked me, and this was according to Ian Rappert and NFL Insiders, running back Saquon Barkley has signed the $10 million franchise tag with the New York Giants for the 2023 season. He's reporting to training camp, and he's ready to go for the season. He's not holding out. He's reporting to training camp for the New York Giants, and he will play the 2023 season under the franchise tag. Oh, no. Okay, let me just break this down. I understand. You don't want to hold out. I get that. You want to play. Obviously, I would play too, right? I would want to play as well. Here's my thing, though. The biggest thing is your worth. Know your worth. I said this last week and last Thursday on Pigskin Frenzy for the NFL edition. Know your worth and know your worth at the position. Saquon is one of the best when healthy. I've also said that many times. I feel like this is a little bit of a loss, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like this shows that, this shows that, the executives are, they can get anything out of you, right? And it doesn't matter, about your worth. It's kind of like, okay, I don't have to pay you. Here's what we're going to give you. You're going to take it or leave it. It's like, it's kind of like okay, we're the decision makers here, not you kind of thing, right? It's a two-way street, and that's what I am kind of iffy on, if that makes sense. I still think the running backs should get more money. I still think Saquon should get more money. And there was also rumors that they even tried to trade him. They even tried to trade Saquon Barkley. They were listening to calls. There was a rumor that the Miami Dolphins were interested for Saquon Barkley's services until they listened to the asking price for him. So the Dolphins turned it down and the Giants turned it down. So he signed a 1-year tender. It feels like one of those things where it doesn't make sense to me. You know, you were trying to hold out for a better deal, then you kind of gave in a little bit. In my opinion, I don't like that much. I think Saquon does deserve better a little bit, and I think he deserves. And I'm just going to be honest, he deserves a better deal. He deserves a better deal than the franchise tag that he is getting. I'm not trying to go on a rant again, but I'm being honest. He deserves a way better deal than what he's getting. And I don't know. I'm kind of iffy about him signing the franchise tag, but it happened. Saquon Barkley will report to training camp. He signed the franchise tag for the 2023 season. Hopefully, and here's another thing I might add. With his stat line and whatever he does, and if he adds more to his stats, he gets bonuses throughout, the season. So I think it's still iffy because I think he deserves a long-term and better contract at least around the $13 million to $14 million range, the average medium range for a running back contract. And I think he's more than deserving of that, honestly. So Saquon, he signs the franchise tender for the Giants. He is going to report to the training camp. Their training camp, and he will be ready to go for the season, and he'll play under this whole season in hopes of trying to get a better deal. So he may test free agency next year. Who knows? But more on Saquon Barkley, another time, and I will give you some more updates as we go along. So continuing on with that update, one person who has not signed a franchise tender is Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. And this leads me to our holdouts of training camp. So there's only a few that I know of that I've seen that's notable right now before we conclude today's episode of Pigskin Frenzy. Holdouts. Let's talk about some of those. Running back Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. He, according to NFL insiders, Tom Porcello and Ian Rappert, he left Las Vegas. He left Las Vegas. He will not report to training camp, and he's not expected to be back anytime soon. That is kind of worrisome. Josh Jacobs was the leading rushing, who was the rushing champion last year for the NFL. Jacobs, a key part of that Las Vegas Raiders offense, it's looking like he may hold out. What's worrisome is he going to be ready week 1? September 10th. And I don't know that. I can't sit there and tell you this, but I've been hearing rumors that he will come back for September 10th. I've been hearing rumors that he may hold out even longer. I've been hearing a lot of stuff that he may not return anytime soon. It's looking like an iffy situation. That is a big one. You cannot afford to lose to Josh Jacobs. I've been saying this, and this is why I have such an issue with the running back market. He deserves more, and he was a big part of that offense last year. So Josh Jacobs holding out for the Las Vegas Raiders. If I have more updates on him, I'll give it to you, but he deserves more, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just going to sit there. So does Saquon. They both deserve more. The running backs in this market, and I went on a rant about this last week, deserve more, and they need better deals, and they give their blood, sweat, and tears to the game. So the executives need to wake up and listen and try to compromise with better deals for these star running backs. So he's holding out. We don't know when he's coming back. I'll give you updates on Pigskin Frenzy as soon as I can. Two others that I've kind of noticed, and I wouldn't say he's holding out for week 1. This is kind of a less scary situation, but it's something to keep an eye on. 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa, potential defensive player of the year this year, and, probably one of the best edge rushers in the game of the NFL, along with a TJ Watt. Nick Bosa and his brother Joey. So Nick Bosa, is holding out a training camp. He's not reported yet due to ongoing discussions of a long-term contract. He said this. John Lynch, the 49ers general manager, has said this, and 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan has said this after their media conferences after their training camp. So they said Nick Bosa is not reported yet. He is getting ready. We're discussing some deals and terms for a longer term contract, and I don't think it's a fear that he will be, that he will miss week 1 is what they're saying, but he is not reported to training camp just yet. So he's holding out slightly, but I wouldn't assume that he is, going to miss week 1 or beyond. So we're going to see that situation now. Hopefully he doesn't, but if anything changes, I'll have more updates on that one as well. Nick Bosa, big part of your team. You're not going to want to lose him. So try to work out a deal with Nick Bosa as soon as you can. And hopefully hopefully nothing happens to the point where he doesn't play week 1, but I assume that he will probably play week 1. And also Brock Purdy reported to training camp. Brock Purdy is ready to go. He's at full go right now after having off-season elbow surgery, and he's looking pretty good is what I'm hearing from training camp. He's expected to start week 1, Sunday, September 10th. So, update on those two. And last but not least, before we conclude today's episode, and this is an interesting one, Cowboys offensive lineman Zach Martin, and this is an ideal one here. Quentin Nelson, among the highest paid offensive linemen, for the Indianapolis Colts, right guard Quentin Nelson. But Cowboys offensive lineman Zach Martin deserves some of that praise too. He's an all-pro. He was a key protector in protecting Dak Prescott last season, and Zach Martin deserves a little bit more credit than what he gets, and I can see why. The deal that he has now is a little below average, and he is a little unhappy of where he's at with his contract discussions, and the contract discussions in his eyes aren't suffice to him, and he is not reported to training camp. He is holding out, and he is unhappy with the team's lack of interest in discussing his contract and restructuring it. So that's a key loss there. If he were to hold out and not play even in week 1, that is a key loss. You're losing probably your best lineman so far that Dak Prescott has in week 1. So I would kind of keep my eye on that one. And please, if I'm the Jones family, I'm sitting down with Zach Martin and discussing a way to get the deal done and keep him around in Dallas, because he is a solid offensive lineman that you do not want to let go. So those were the holdouts, and these were the extensions heading into training camp, and we're out of time. Again, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some NFL coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the episode, and leave a comment down below. Spotify, if listening on there, share around with others and follow on there as well. Podbean, same thing. If listening on there, share around with others and follow on there as well. We have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter, it's at Pigskin_Frenzy, all lowercase. All you got to do is type that bad boy in on the search engine. You'll find it. Follow the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as news and highlights from across college and NFL football. Facebook, same thing, Pigskin Frenzy. Follow the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as all things up to date with Pigskin Frenzy. And Instagram, all you got to do is type in Pigskin Frenzy. Just follow, like the page there. You'll get a trivia questions on your stories. If you check the stories out, there's an about me on the bio. And you'll get episode updates and all things up to date with Pigskin Frenzy. Again, big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday. Just sit back, watch, and listen. We'll be back Tuesday for another college football edition of Pigskin Frenzy. Football is right around the corner, folks, and I cannot tell you how I'm excited about this. It is right around the corner. Next week, we got the NFL Hall of Fame game preseason, and the season for the NFL unofficially kicks off, and it officially kicks off September 7th. But Football's back, ladies and gentlemen, and I am so excited for this. And we're going to have, tons of coverage throughout the season. So let's just get ready for it. College football, again, Tuesday, we're going to go over, a lot of what's been going on with the media days. We concluded the SEC back on Tuesday. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the Pac-12, and we're going to conclude on that. We're also going to talk about the Big Ten and the ACC media days and have some takeaways from there. So until Tuesday, I'm Joel Norris signing off, and we will see you and listen, and we'll see you and listen, and provide coverage Tuesday for Pigskin Frenzy. And for everybody out there, stay the course.